And we are live with the Jolly Old Fat Man Beard Company. How you doing?
Doing good for a Friday.
It is Friday. Thank goodness it's Friday.
Yes.
So we're gonna have a nice little chat today. It's a Friday. I don't think I really advertised the heck out of this one, but it's always available. This is the great thing about YouTube and why I do it on YouTube versus Instagram, is that these are always available for anybody to watch. And I noticed that I get a lot more watches towards the weekend. So, when people see it, but I definitely wanted to put this out here before you got super, super swamped, because we've talked about that. Once you get
Yeah.
into Santa season, which is like the next week, right?
Pretty much the next week. I mean, I've already started out. If you guys notice, I posted pictures. I've already started rewrapping lights and, starting on the display. And next week pretty much goes full blast of trying to get it set up. And I literally, my real job that pays the bills, I think in the month of November, I work 7 days.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. The rest of his vacation that I take to put up all this stuff and get ready.
Yeah, I was. So tell me about that. I want to hear about how your house gets decorated, what you do to put on the whole show.
Well, what it is, and I mean, I can go as far back as the beginning, or if you just want to know now, either one can go. But
Yeah,
you
starting
know,
is fine. A little bit of start, and then tell us about, what you're doing now.
yeah, it started. Me and my wife got married about 11 years ago, and we got a house. And as a kid, I always dressed up. I always decorated our house for Christmas. My mom always had inflatables and stuff. And when we got our house, she said, "I don't want to do this no more. Here, you guys take it." So it started off with 5 inflatables. It has grown to over 100.
Oh,
And yeah, it's a walkthrough display. The kids can come in, like if you and your son were to come down to Georgia, you could actually walk through the whole display. You don't have to just stand at the street. You can get next to all your favorite characters. We have everything from Paw Patrol. This year we're going to have Toy Story inflatables. We got Star Wars inflatables. I mean, we got a variety of stuff for everybody to see. And it just kind of started with that, and it just grew and grew and grew. And nobody in my neighborhood that we came on decorated. I mean, the neighborhood was dark. You can go ride around now and nobody sees any Christmas lights. People don't decorate like they used to. I mean, I remember getting in the car and just riding around and seeing people with Christmas lights. So it kind of started with that, and then it just kind of became I don't want to say obsession, but just something that I really enjoy doing, and I just keep going and going and going and going, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger. I mean, it takes up 2.5 yards now. My neighbor is my
wow.
best friend, so he lets me get in on his yard, and then the neighbor next door, he's like, whatever, it's fun, do what you got to do.
I love that. That's awesome. So me and my wife, when we moved into our new house about 2 years ago, we started buying. We have about 4 or 5 of those inflatable Santa Claus and Christmas displays. We have a dinosaur, and then we bought some other ones. Some of them died, but man, that's awesome to have that many. And those are really cool. We had one that it was a Santa Claus and something else on a teeter totter, and they have
I know.
motors on them. Yeah,
Yeah,
they have
yeah,
motors on them. They have all sorts of really cool features to them that are kids love that. My grandson absolutely would go outside and just flip out because he just loved watching them because they're all lit up. It's
yeah.
dark. It's nice. Yeah, that's so cool. So, what does the kids in your area think?
Oh, they love it. I think we got one house in the neighborhood that doesn't like it, but you know, one thing about my neighborhood is it's mostly houses that we're renting. People are long-term renters, but they're renting these houses. We're one of the few that actually own a house in this neighborhood. So I don't care what they think. It just, I mean, I'll be 100% honest. Most of the neighbors love it. They hate the traffic that it brings, but other than that, I mean, we'll get stopped as we're putting stuff up, and people are like, "Oh, it's that time of year. Oh, you're almost there. Oh, we're gonna." And you have people come by 10, 15 times a year just to come walk around and see what you can see and let their kids come in because the kids enjoy it. So I'm gonna keep doing it until the county tells me I can't do it.
Yeah, there you go. It's interesting. We've had some neighbors that had nice, huge light displays, and they start out in. I'm taking it you started now,
Yeah.
or and then that's when they started, and then it took them till. I mean, it takes them into November easily, and then
Thanksgiving, hopefully everything will be up and running. Hopefully. Uh, like I said, it's a major project with the inflatables. I mean, we got everything from inflatables to people have donated their artificial Christmas trees. They're in the
oh
yard.
wow,
I got arches over the driveway. We got a snow machine. Friday and Saturdays I do the Santa. So I mean, we got a whole thing going.
that's amazing. I love hearing about that. So, and you are the Sienna.
Yes,
And that is awesome. So I'm assuming that you dye your beard white
yes.
for
It,
the
it
this
actually,
time.
it, actually next Friday at 8 a.m. I will be dyeing the beard white and the hair, as you guys can see. This is literally the most hair I've had since I was 12 years old. I
That's
don't have right after literally I think 21st is our last Santa day, and I will come inside and shave my head. I won't shave the last year I had to shave the beard too, but I will come in and shave my head because I'm not a hair person. I'm always bald, and this is probably the most annoying part of this whole thing is having all this hair on top of my head.
that's awesome though. I think the kids probably absolutely enjoy it, which is kind of goes back into what made. I think we've talked a little bit about what started your company, and you were making products because you felt that you needed to create some stuff for bearded Santas. I want to hear more about that. What kind of go into what made you decide to make this company, kind of your starts. I love your products, and so I want to hear more about that.
Yeah, well, it started because, like I said, I am a real bearded Santa, but as you guys can see, this is red. I mean, my beard is red. uh, it's not your white or anything like that. So to get it to go that nice bright white, it takes a toll. I mean, I got to go through three different bleachings plus the whitening treatment and all this other stuff. So I mean, it goes through a lot. And the first thing my hairdresser says, and there's one place here in Georgia that does it because your beard hair is different than the hair in your head. So you can't just go bleaching it. You have to. There's all these different like specific products you have to use for your beard, or else it'll just pretty much fry and fall out. So she told me when I did the last year was the first year I did the real beard. I always had the fake beard, but last year I was like, my fake beard was hurting so much. I said I can't do this no more. I'm just going to grow it out and just dye white and see what the kids like about it. Because with the fake one, they're all kind of just looking like something's not right. They can't figure it out, but they just can't. So I want to give them that whole experience of this is real. This exists. I am real. I am here. I am talking to you, and that's what I always wanted to give them. So when she does, as soon as my hairdresser does it, it's the first thing she tells me. She says, "Don't get anything in your beard." I said, she's like, you can't eat pizza, you can't eat pasta, you can't eat anything with red sauce. She's like, you drop that on your beard will turn red. I said, well, what about my balms and stuff that I use? And she said, no. She said, unless they're white or clear, she's like, you can't use dark shampoos, you can't use dark soaps. She's like, because your beard will suck up any color that because you've taken all the oils and everything out of your beard, it will literally, it's starving for whatever you can put in. So whatever you put on your beard, it is going to soak in. So my diet changes completely. It's completely a different diet that I eat. I mean, I'm a big guy. I'm 6'5", 380 pounds. I've been big my whole life, and I like to eat. I don't eat like people think they do. But she's like, you just stay away from the pizza, stay away from the pasta, stay. I'm like, okay. Well, then after we did all that stuff, after all the bleachings last year, my last bleaching, it pretty much fried my beard. I mean, I woke up in the morning, all I had was this part of my beard left.
Oh my
All
goodness.
all this had fallen out. It had just broke because we did it too quick and we were doing it too soon because it was the first time. I'm not really sure, and I wasn't putting any beard products in it because everything I had was yellow, and you cannot put yellow in a treated beard. Now, for regular Santas and stuff that have a naturally white beard, yellow's not because your beard's already that natural color. But it's kind of like anybody out there who dyes your hair and stuff like that, it wants to soak up that color real well. So that's where the jolly old fat man came. I was just trying to find stuff that would work for these Santas and um, trying to make something that's not greasy, that is not heavy. The biggest thing is Santa's got to have a natural beard. He cannot have this, perfectly squared up, even tone. It don't look like Santa. If you every picture you see of Santa, it's a big white curly beard that kind of goes out from here and stuff. So
Hmm.
that's what I was trying to do, is just make it so when the kids put their hands in it, it's not greasy. They don't come out and they're like, ew, what was that? I want it to be soft. That's the biggest thing with mine, is to make your beard soft. I don't want that scratchy, because kids know. I mean, kids know a lot more than people give them credit for. They'll sit there and look at you and go, "You're not the real Santa." I want them walking away going, "Did I just meet Santa?" I mean, that was my whole goal, and that's kind of where the jolly old fat man and all the white beard stuff came from.
Oh, that's awesome. That's a good story. And I did notice though that you are using amazing products as well, and that's something that if you've ever seen any of our live streams, we're really into. My sister and me do kind of a co-thing. She's off in LA this week, so I was like, I guess I'll
Yeah,
do it.
she's somewhere different all the time you guys talk.
She is. She usually lives in Nashville, but she is in LA right now, and that's where her old haunting is. So she's out
Okay.
there. And I think a couple weeks ago she was in Jamaica, and so I was just like, I'll just leave you out for this week because I. But we really, she has her product line is all natural, and
Okay.
that is extremely important to her. So, with that being said, I noticed that your products are actually amazing. So, I had to tell you that I snuck my son's beard oil.
Don't let him know.
No, I kind of try to keep it all. I said, nah, actually, I told him. I said, I need to really test this out. And
I,
it smells so amazing that there is no words to describe the sugar cookie smell. That so I just got, and I'm definitely going to purchase more in the next, the next paycheck, because it smells so good that you really think it is a peppermint. The sugar cookie, it's just downright amazing. But the other thing that I noted was that it was all natural and it was good ingredients. And I know that it wasn't, I know that your butter or your balm has a different thing in it. And I thought that was really interesting because I actually read up on it and it's actually really, really good for you. And we've kind of talked about your um, balm. It doesn't have the beeswax in it, but I wanted to kind of
it
get a description of what that was that you're putting in it.
Well, it does have beeswax, and I think you
Okay.
might have got the label that when I first started this and coming to Instagram, when I made the labels, I realized about 2 months into Instagram, it didn't have the beeswax on the label, and I was like,
Oh, okay.
I'd already bought like 100. That's why if you get something from me and you're new, you'll get a piece of paper, and it'll tell you everything that's in it and all my scent profiles and stuff like that. So when it comes up on my store, and I know you're new, I always put that in there to let you know there is the beeswax in there.
No, okay.
Uh,
Nothing wrong with
it's
that.
not
But
it's not a lot. I mean, it's a very minute amount of beeswax in there.
yeah, but what was the other thing that you put in that is acting as an agent to bind it so that it.
The the BTMS in the balms, it's BTMS 25, and in the oils, it's BTMS 50.
And can you describe that a little bit? Because that's something that's unique. I haven't seen that I don't think I've seen that in
Well,
another product.
most I noticed when I was looking through stuff. I don't. I'm a kind of person. I wash my beard every day, and I notice a lot of what they call co-washes or conditioners have this BTMS 25, but they just use the big name, which is something I can't pronounce. But the short term is BTMS 25, and a lot of use it when they use it in conditioners because they got to bond the oil and the water together, and that's what helps. Is it's emulsifying wax, so it helps bind them too. But I was doing more research and was figuring out, well, if they can use it in conditioners, why can't I use it in the balm straight? I mean, there's nothing that I read that says it is harmful to anything. It is an all natural product from, I think it's derived from the colza oil, but
Hmm.
it's a naturally derived product that's made in a lab. So it's all natural stuff, but whatever process it goes through, it actually goes through a lab to make it that. to give it that softness. And I was like, well, let's try this and see, because beard balms were just making my beard real heavy, and I couldn't. I had nothing that would give that softness. And I don't know if you noticed it if you
Mhm.
have used the balm, but you'll get, if you leave it in overnight, you wake up in the morning and your beard will be less tangled. It'll be super soft. I mean, and
Mhm.
it'll stay like that for a while. And that's just something I played with for months and months, because the BTMS is super hard to play with. It's not something that you can just melt down and go about what you got to do. You can't leave it. It has to be stirred in. You can't just leave it on, like, say, these makeshift crock pots that you see a lot of these guys do, and they put a bunch of ingredients in it and let it sit for an hour. Everything's melted, and then they pour it in. I can't do that. My bombs are literally have to be made two at a time. So I make 100 grams of balm each time I do this. But it was just a coincidence that I found that BTMS and the properties again. And after testing it for a month, I gave it to about 50 Santas to say, hey, does this do for your beard what it's doing for mine? And they said, yeah. And then I just kept rolling with it, because they all needed that nice, soft beard. You can't have that hard, crunchy beard. And that's what that BTMS does.
Yeah, and I will say this, that's exactly my experience with this. It is absolutely one of the best balms conditioning wise that I have ever used. And
My,
I was surprised because I was like, I've used a lot over the last, I mean, I've only been doing this 7, 8 months now. And I've used a lot of product, and this is top notch. And I was extremely happy and thrilled to be able to try it out. And then the other thing is with the holidays coming on, I now have something that I really want to use for the holidays. And I was like, this
yeah,
is great because it smells like Christmas, and I love the Christmas season. I have 6 kids, and now we have grandkids coming over, and that is the biggest piece of, I love that whole Christmas season. My wife is turning our house into a forest because she just keeps buying Christmas trees because she likes it too. She loves to decorate. And as
that's
we have,
awesome.
yeah, I mean, so we get into that spirit. And when you can buy products that help put you into that, and I've done live streams on this. That's why I talked to Barbu as well. I really get into scents and what the memories they present, what they represent. And I think that this is one of the best representations I have of Christmas, and that brings you into that joyful mode, because Christmas is such a joyful time, and I think that's what you represent as a company, as well as a Santa Claus. And you talking about your experience with why you did this. That's what's so cool about it is that that's what you put in. I think that sometimes the maker puts a little bit of their love into products like this, and that energy gets kind of put in, and you can feel it when you put it in, that there's this joy of the
Yeah,
maker being put into these type of things, and that artistry that goes into something. And like you said, you had to put a lot of love and a lot of effort into making something that would be something you can sell, but
yeah.
B, that other people will enjoy just as much as you have. And I think you've hit the mark there. I think that's
Well,
awesome.
I really do appreciate it. Yeah, and that's all I wanted was to, the difference between me and a lot of other companies out there is I'm not doing this for the money. I'm Whatever money that I make from this is going into my Christmas display. I mean, that's, I've never in my Christmas display, and I keep going back to my Christmas display because that's kind of how all this started. But in my Christmas display, I spend so much money. It's ridiculous, to the point where my wife's looking at me like, really? Like, come on. I mean, just we'll go before Christmas, because all the Lowe's around me, the Lowe's Home Improvements know who we are. I can go a week before anything goes on sale, and they'll give me 75% off and just say, take what you want,
Wow.
because they know what I do. It's been the same managers year after year after year. They just like fill your buggies up. So I mean, I'm spending $500-600 just on new stuff for next year. Between stuff, when my display goes on, it stays on for 24 hours a day, 7 days a week until right before the new year. So it never turns off. You can come during the day, you can come at nighttime, and so any little bit of profit that I do make from this goes to the display. But it's I did this mostly for that and the Santas because I had a lot of Santas. When you go to these Santa schools, you go to just hearing horror stories about what other Santas have done from other people, and I wanted to bring something better to the Santa community, and that's kind of how it all just kept rolling and rolling. And that's when I found Instagram and all these bearded guys, and figured I'll just throw it out there and see what it does.
And I hope it's done pretty well. I see a lot of people who get excited. I've seen the Bearded America video. That's one of my favorite things, and I think my buddy Joe kind of had his take on it, and you guys did a little competition or something that
Yeah,
he was partaking. I absolutely love that, and that's what I love about the bearded community because I think they surround people here, and it's a
they
good
do.
community where they are really after helping other individuals out in their endeavors, and I think that's why I chose to do this live stream, was because I was like, I want to get him before he gets too busy, because I know that your next couple
Yeah,
weeks are just going to get nuts.
yeah,
And
it really is. And and going back to that whole bearded community, since we're on live stream, I do gotta say there are a few that go over and beyond. I know a lot of people in this community want to, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but I don't want to say push their product, but only want their product. They only talk about their product. I'll talk about everybody's product. I mean, if I find something I like, it may not be my stuff, but I'm gonna let everybody know it's good stuff. We're doing all these maker swaps, and I buy from all these other companies too, just to try them out, to have that relationship with these other companies. And I just had I put a thing out there for the bearded community, for the beard makers to, I'm trying to raise money for my Christmas display this year because last year we had a lot of rain, and I'm coming to find out a lot of stuff is not working.
oh, bummer.
So yeah, so it's becoming an issue, but I wanted to give the kids something different this year. I like to do something for the kids every year, something different, something that wasn't the same as last year. And so I seen all these beard stickers. I was like, why don't I give the kids stickers and say, I met Santa at Christmas on Amberwood. Well, I put that out there trying to get donations from some of the beard guys, and was going to put out a banner with their logo and have the banner made myself and all this other stuff. And Barker's Beards,
Mm.
they donated $50 to go for it. And then I got an email from Terry over at I have a hard time with it. It's Norseman Beard
Oh,
Company.
oh, yep.
Uh, he donated all 408 stickers.
Oh, that's amazing.
He had them made and had them sent to me. I got them today. So I definitely want to know there are some good companies out there that want to keep, that are not just about themselves. And I try to be that company as well. That it's not just about my product, but it's about all the products out there. Everybody makes good. For the most part, people make good stuff, and I might not. One of my Santas may come to me and say, "Hey, I need a mustache wax." I don't make a mustache wax, but I know a company that does. So guess what? Those relationships we built with these other makers, I'm going to send them over to whoever. I might lose off on the $10, $10 that I might make off it, but at least it's helping my Santas out, and then it's helping one of the other companies stay out too.
Right, and that's a huge deal. It's interesting because I was at work today and I mentioned that I was having a live stream with you today, and a fellow guy who does, I guess he's a clown, he does clown during regular season, off season, off Christmas season, but he's a Santa
Okay.
during, yeah. So I directed him towards your website because of the fact that I knew that was something that he would be interested in. And I think that's amazing how that community, there are just genuinely good people in this community that I have found as well. I have a tendency to want to keep that positivity up, and so I tried to post as many positive things as I can as well to help the community in any way that I can.
Yeah.
And I think that's what my live streams are about. I may not get 200 people in my live stream, but I do get the people that are interested in, I think, the storylines of companies that are, unique. I think that yours is one of those. I think that you, uh, and just to give everybody a heads up who is in this and who will view this, um, you went out of your way, to make my son a specialized beard oil and balm. And not only did he do that, but he additionally had a custom Santa letter created that had a little bit of info from my son Kayden about my son Kayden, and you sent that in the packaging, and it all comes as Christmas packaging. So he thought it was Christmas. He was like, "Why is it Christmas now?" And I'm like, "Well, I talked to Santa Claus." And so he opened it and was extremely excited. I think you saw the live stream
Yeah.
that
Oh
for
yeah.
some reason I couldn't. Now I've realized that you can't keep those for some reason. So I'm
Yeah,
working on.
I was looking for it today, and I was like, oh, they're
Yeah,
not there no more.
yeah, they get rid of it. So now that's why I'm putting. If you notice that I'm starting to put my live streams onto YouTube,
Yeah.
because then they're there and I don't have to worry about what Instagram does with them. Because I was disappointed because that was so fun. And I wanted everybody to get that experience because my son legitimately, he read the letter out loud, and it had a lot of little fine points of, how Santa would talk to you. And it was also something that was personalized to him. But the fact that a company that I talked to did something like that, and I've had several companies, Barden just made a scent for Kayden as well. He made the Kayden's Desert.
Oh, he did.
He did.
I,
Awesome, awesome stuff. But I tell you that but I'm going to say that the Kayden's Kitchen. So he had put this label on, and it says Kayden's Kitchen. And let me go get it really quick. Hang on one second. It's just
okay.
around the corner here. Um, this is the bomb. It really is the bomb. But if you notice, it has his label and it has the honorary elf in it. That blows me away. It's so special that you can't put words into, and it's why you probably do Santa, because seeing a kid light up is what a parent is all about, and what anybody. I think a lot of people that are connected to kids like you are.
Yeah.
That's what we do it for. We do things like, we get involved with certain things, surprises and things like that. And especially the spirit of Christmas is all about that. Seeing your kids completely light up and seeing them just glow. And I think that this was one of those things that did that for him. He was blown away because we're used to doing unboxings, and he likes to hang out with dad. That's why he's doing the unboxings, because we get to bond a little bit.
Yeah, and
He gets.
that's awesome that you get them involved with that. I mean, you got to have, you doing it as your YouTube channel and the Instagram stuff, but having your kids involved, that just adds that little extra because you can see the excitement. You need that, they're truly excited. They're not just like, oh, I got more beard mail. Let's go ahead and open it up. And oh, hey, look, I got this. Yay. Where when the kids like, oh, what's this? Oh, I can smell that. Oh, I don't like. Oh, that smells great. They give you a true reaction of what they want. They're not just telling everybody what they want to hear. They're a kid's reaction is going to be true. It's not going to be filtered. It's not going to be, you know, do I say something bad because they may not send me anything later? And it's going to be that way. And because as a reviewer and stuff like that you guys are, you always want to review stuff, and whether you buy it or you don't buy it or this, that, or the other, but you always have that, that little bit of feeling. But kids don't have that. They're going to tell you exactly like it is. They're going to tell you if you like it or if it's the dumbest thing ever. And that's just what their filter goes away when they get excited.
They do, and he was legitimately excited about opening that. My friend Adam, he said that he thought that my son is a hype man. I've had him do that too, because he knows how to, for some reason he watches a lot of YouTube. I get that. So he has some of that kind of in him where he wants to be a ham. but he was already a ham. So you just add the YouTube and him getting in front of, a camera, and he is all about that. I was looking at some old videos of him doing stuff like that when we were at like some Thanksgiving thing, and he just was like a total ham the entire time on the video. And I'm just like, where did that, like, I didn't do that when I was that age. So, but
that
I think
that 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 switch just flips, and he's like, "Ooh, time to get on camera, time to do something."
that's right. Otherwise, he's the kid that wants to play on his Switch all the day. So, but yeah, he gets legitimately excited about this, and that one specifically because it was specifically to him as well as to Barden, and he was asking for that, and I thought it was so funny because he came out of the blue. I don't know what he like.
Hmm.
I was like, why are I said the desert sense because we're from Phoenix, right? So Arizona desert sense. Where he came up with out of the blue, he just said, "I want some cookies."
Yeah, and I remember that. And then I was actually watching. I was like, and that's what kind of got me. He said he wanted the cookies, and I said I'd send him something. And I was gonna just send him the regular bomb and stuff, but like again, I said the IG stuff just kind of got to me, and I was trying to get the name out there. I was trying to push. I was trying to do this, and I had forgot about it. And when I saw your live unboxing again, I was like, he was doing deserts. I remember it was soaps or something
Yep, yep.
like, and he said desert, and it clicked in my head. I said, I didn't send it to him. I was like, I told him I would too, and I was like, and I felt really bad. So I was like, I gotta do something special because for me to forget something like that, it's not me. So I was like, I gotta do something special. And then, everybody does the whole, everybody's talking about my Santa theme and my Christmas stuff. I was like, well, let's take it a step further, and that's where I did the honorary elf, did the special label. I mean, it takes nothing to make a label. I mean, I make my own labels here. So to just get on the computer and change a few things, it's not a huge hassle. So I was like, I can do this real quick. Let's come up with something. And I just did another one for another kid as well.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if you know the Bearded Life, his daughter Sammy Cakes.
Oh, cool.
Uh,
I don't
she
know them, but yeah, that's awesome.
well, she did just like your son. She did a live, or she did like her favorite top 10 cents or something live,
That's awesome.
and I think she picked mine as like number 6 or something. And I was like, just for her doing that, I gotta send her something. So she said she wanted cookies as well. So I was like, well, so I just have a soft spot for kids, and when I forgot about Kayden, I felt so bad, and that's just kind of where it started off from.
That's awesome.
You want to get something from me, put your kid in it, and I'll melt every time.
Yeah, it's so funny is that I'm about the same way. Kids are just they light up, and that's the excitement. It really is an exciting thing, and that's the one funny thing is that some people were like, "Well, you're putting him on YouTube, and isn't that scary?" And I'm like, "Well, I control a lot of that piece, but I also know that this is an internet-based life that we lead out there, and being
Yeah, I
able
mean,
to
it's
put
life now.
it totally is. And having your kid know what safe looks like, knowing that dad interviews people that are doing something important. And this is, for some people, this is their livelihood. For some people, and most of the bearded community and beard companies, this is a side
Yeah,
hustle for them or a side gig. But they all have the same. It seems that there's a commonality that they started off not wanting to do it, and most of the ones that I know that are successful didn't start off wanting to do it as a full-time business. It's turned into something bigger, but they were into because they wanted to make other beardsmen have a better beard, a better experience with products. Same story behind that. We wanted to have Santa Clauses that had a better beard, something that's going to get them through the season
yeah.
without having to want to rip their beard out, or want to. And that was, honestly, that was so interesting how most people get into this is that's exactly the reason. They were looking for something. Maybe they saw the DIY Etsy stuff or Pinterest stuff that's out there. There's a bunch of
Yeah,
DIY Pinterest stuff. And that's where I first started. I was like, somebody passed around something and I thought that I could go make my own because I'm really into essential oils. And then I found the Instagram tunnel. And I said, there are thousands of wonderful companies making a lot of amazing things.
Yeah.
But what I think is, I find that, and this is what I always try to present, is the ones that I am reviewing currently, and I think that I'll keep doing, is they have a unique story, something that's unique. And I think that the Jolly Old Fat Man Beard Company is that uniqueness in the fact that you're doing something for kids. But the other thing is that you're doing it for Santa Clauses because they're giving back to their communities in such a unique way. And I think you talked about the Santa. I didn't even know there was a Santa Claus company that helps train you how to be a Santa Claus.
Oh
I didn't
yeah,
know there
it's
was like education. I had no idea.
oh yeah, Santa, and don't let it don't let it think any different. But Santas are big business. It really is. I mean, I worked with the guy that didn't even have to work because his Santa paid. He made more being Santa in corporate gigs than he did actually at his regular job.
Oh
I mean,
wow.
a real bearded Santa can make a lot of money. I mean, you really can. And but they have schools for it because you have to have insurance. You have to have this. Luckily, because it's at my house, I'm covered under my insurance if anything ever goes wrong. So I'm not worried about that stuff. I have an umbrella on my policy just in case, because unfortunately, people are stupid.
Right, right,
I mean, I'm not saying everybody out there just you know you always have those few that just want to ruin it for everybody else.
right.
So, I got myself covered, but yeah, it is a the biggest Santa school is here in Atlanta.
Oh wow.
The biggest, the most well-known Santa that puts on that school actually gets his beard done at the same place I do.
Oh cool.
His name's Santa Rick. And what's funny is last year when I was getting my beard done for the last time, I met Santa Rick for the first time. He was actually there doing it with me, and he was trying to get me to come. I mean, Santa Rick, he goes all over the world. He's been to China, Japan, doing Santa. I mean, that's what he does. He's putting on schools and doing gigs. And it's funny because he's a Jewish guy. He's 100% Jewish guy, but loves being Santa. And he tried to offer me a job and said, "You'd be perfect." He's like, "Come on, we'll get you started. We'll go. You work under me." And I was like, "Nah, it's just not my thing. I don't want the corporate events. I don't want none of that stuff. I just want to do this for the kids. And as long as I can do my display, I'm just going to keep doing it for the kids."
No, that's cool. And see, that's where I think that in your heart, that's where passion comes from, that space where this is what you're passionate about, and you also realize your boundaries with it. Like,
Yeah,
yeah, I could make this a gig and full-time gig, and maybe at some point, maybe you might think about it at a later point in your life. There's nothing, I always think that everybody has things change in their life. But right
that's
now,
true.
this is where you're at, and I think it's very, very cool that there are individuals that dedicate their time to doing things for kids. And I think that there's several companies that are also doing things like this. They do charities for kids. I think it's amazing how when you get a kid involved, that everybody feels that heartfelt feeling of wanting to help.
Yeah.
I have as soon as I see a charity for a kid, I'm usually trying to donate something. And my
Yeah.
wife's the same way. We have a Downs kid, and this is, my grandchild has Down syndrome, and we do a lot of events and charities for Down syndrome groups because
Oh, that's great.
we know that how hard it is to be raising a Downs syndrome kid, but a kid with Downs is so much love. Um, and being able to support an organization that is able to help other families out in some way is a big thing. And this is Down Syndrome Awareness Month, by the way.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
I'm fully aware because
yeah.
even through our Christmas display, we get a lot of handicapped kids, and we get a lot of different kids in our display.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
I've tried to make it, and when I noticed they started coming more and more, I've tried to make it to where they can get the wheelchairs through, where somebody's pushing them through, so they're not tripping over anything or getting stuck by anything, so they can actually get into the display with everybody else. And I've had so many parents come to me and say, how much this means to them, because now their kid with a disability or something can actually get in and look and be a part of what all the other kids are doing. And
It's huge.
it just, and it really is. So I try to make a conscious effort when I'm doing all this stuff to do stuff like this. And that's why I leave it on during the day as well, because you have kids who have sensitivity issues. And a lot of those kids come during the day because the blinking lights and stuff bother them. So they can come see everything during the day. It's not lit up, but everything's still up and running. So, they can come see their Toy Story or the PJ Mask, or, we have people in our yard 24/7 almost, all from
I love that.
Thanksgiving till almost January 1st.
See, and that's really awesome. And I think that that's the reason why I wanted to get you on a live stream, because I think that that is something that is worthy of being mentioned in our community. That there are such. I teach classes on the kindness of others, and I actually taught one last night. And these are the type of stories that I love to talk about, because it's what Mr. Rogers talks about, which is look for the helpers. And you're one of those people. You're helping kids have a great experience at Christmas, and that you can tell by the products that you're creating that there's a lot of love in them, but you're also doing it for a really amazing cause, which is helping Santa Clauses, who are then giving back to their communities in very cool ways.
Yep.
Even if they get paid, so be it. That's a good thing to be able
Yeah.
to get
It,
paid for your services and be
and
helpful.
and a lot of them get paid through, their corporate events and stuff like that. But 90% of the Santas, they have other stuff they do outside of that. I've been asked to go to schools. Just the only reason I don't is because of my insurance and trying to get stuff done and stuff like that. I really want to keep it in my display. But you got a lot of Santas that will go to the hospitals and to go to stuff like that. And I hope to be there one day where I can do stuff like that. I'm just not, with the Christmas display, it's just hard to go out there and do stuff like that, because I'm always fixing something. I'm always moving something, always trying to, keep it running so everybody can keep, coming back and seeing everything.
Now, do you do like a webcam, or you do anything to show your display? Do you do like a video
I,
run through or
if
website?
you Now, I've had a couple, like, if you're on YouTube and you look up Christmas on Amberwood, there's been a couple professional videos, or there's been one good professional video that somebody did for us last year that I didn't even know was doing it. He just came out and did it, and then, hey, here, take a look at this. And so he did a fantastic job on that. I was wondering why I'm sitting I'm sitting in my chair with kids, and I got this camera in my face, and I had no idea. I get so focused on the kids that I have no idea what goes on even in our display. I mean, my wife's a saint, because she keeps it running while I'm doing the whole Santa thing.
Oh, that's awesome.
So yeah, but I have a Facebook page where we post all the pictures that we ever take, so the parents can send me a message and say, hey, I want that picture. I'll send them the full file from our digital camera. They can go to Walmart and print it off for $2 or $3.
Oh, that's awesome, man. That's so awesome. So, tell me about your Facebook page. What is the name of it so that people can
It's
look it up?
Yeah, it's called Christmas on Amberwood. Um, you can go on there. Like I said, I do live streams all Christmas on there. I'll do walkthroughs of our display. I'll do FaceTime with the kids. I'll have, we have a snow machine that goes. We're here in Atlanta. It doesn't snow here in Atlanta. If it does, everything stops completely for a day or two, and then it's melted and it's 70 degrees again. But I'll get in there with the snow machine, and I'll go in there and tell the kids, hey, look. And they'll get on my Facebook Live with me, and they're like, oh, this is the greatest place. This is Santa, da, 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 da. So and I'll save those videos. And so it's just kind of nice. And then everything we do that night, I'll upload all the pictures to Facebook. And pretty much everybody knows I hand out cards with our Facebook page. And then if the parents go through, just shoot me a message or an email, and then I'll just email them the picture and say, here, you'll get this printed at Walmart for a couple bucks, versus standing in line, waiting on a Santa. Your kid's mad. He's angry. These are not professional pictures by no means. This is my wife up there as Mrs. Claus, pressing the button and trying to get the kids. But out of the 10, I've been doing this 5 years now. Out of the 5 years I've done this, there's probably about 10 kids that just would not come up to me. Other than that, you had a kid, and I'm just going to go into the story. So if you want me to stop, just let me know. I
No, no,
love
tell me,
talking
tell
about
me,
this
tell
stuff.
me, tell me.
I can talk about this versus my beard stuff all day long. But had a kid. He had to be about 8, I want to say. He, my thing is, if a parent comes up there with their kid and they're dragging their kid and the kid's kicking and screaming, I'll be like, no, you just go in the display, enjoy, let the kid get comfortable. I guarantee you he'll come back up here, but let him get, because it's a new environment for him. They see all these lights, all these different people. Kids get scared of stuff like that. So she did that, and it was about 15 minutes later. I mean, people come to my display, they stay for 45 minutes to an hour, sometimes longer than that. And about 15 minutes later, and the kid came up to me and kind of tapped me. He's like, Santa? I was like, well, yes, what can I do for you? Can I tell you what I want for Christmas? I was like, sure, come on, hop on up here. So he hopped up on the chair and we started just talking. And, I try to talk kids stuff with him, my biggest thing is school. I'll ask him, how you doing in school? What's your favorite teacher? What's your favorite subject? And then we'll kind of get into cartoon stuff. What's your favorite cartoons? And then I spend a whole probably minute or more with each kid, just asking them questions and getting to know the kid for that amount of time that I can see him. And he was telling me all this stuff. Well, here comes my wife sees the mom panicking because she lost him in the display, and she's going and going and going. And my wife's she's trying to flag her own. And the mom comes around the corner, and the kid's just talking to me. The look on that mom's face, I will never forget. She was in shock and awe that kid was up sitting on my lap. She was trying to get. She couldn't even. She was so in shock and awe she couldn't even get a picture going. I mean, mom started crying, and my wife took the pictures and said, "Don't worry, we got the pictures. You can get them from us. Here's our cards. Come do this stuff." And it's little stuff like that that just makes me want to keep doing it. I mean, we had a family when all this recession went bad and everybody was losing their houses and jobs and stuff like that. A lot of people couldn't afford the $40 to go take a picture with Santa. So that was my first year. It was a fake beard, but that family's been back every year for the last 5 years to come get their picture taken with me as Santa.
Oh,
I get
that's
a lot
awesome.
of people that come back year after year because their kids, it's not getting the kid dressed up. I mean, the kid's in a coat and his PJs, but the kid's comfortable. It's a real picture. It's not something fake that you sit them up on a Santa and you want them all dressed up and real pretty and you want to send this picture there. The pictures we take here are real pictures. They're in the moment pictures, and parents are tending more to come towards us now than go to the mall or something like that because they enjoy the pictures that we take.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
and we don't charge nothing for anything.
See, and it's about the joy, it's
Yeah.
really about the joy and the passion behind it. That's awesome. So I want to hit just before we take off here, we got about 10 minutes. But I did want to hit on a little bit of your products.
Okay.
And you have a good variety of really awesome Christmas products. Anywhere from, I think you have an eggnog
Yeah,
that you just released.
we got a new one which is called Surviving the Holidays. And what was funny is when I did this, I was thinking more family when I made this scent.
Mhm.
You know, we all as family love each other, but when it comes to the holidays, we all get on each other's nerves. And whether you drink or not, you're always thinking, "Oh man, I could go take a drink and this, that, and the other." I mean, I don't care who you are. You can try to deny it, but we all love our families, but too much family sometimes can, be a little much. And that's what I was thinking on it. And what was funny is I have one Santa that I send all my stuff to get his approval on it. He probably has every cent that I ever had. And he wrote up all this script for it. He did it more of the Santa finally had a day off or finally got through his rounds, and he gave me this whole little spill of stuff. I was like, oh, okay, well, we'll start going with this. That's what the surviving holiday, but it's an eggnog, vanilla, and rum, some nutmeg and cinnamon in it. So it smells like rum and eggnog.
That's awesome. You know what I was thinking? The moment that you said that, I knew exactly where you were going with it because I've watched Christmas Vacation a million times. Things are not right until Christmas Vacation has been played.
Exactly, exactly.
Um, Yeah, so we have some really cool comments. I think that Gibson's Bearded Adventure says that he loves that. So that's awesome, he says. So that's
Awesome.
yeah, yeah. I love I think that it's really cool that so many people enjoy your sense. Now, what's another you just released that. I saw now the coolest one that I think even Bearded America showed was the fact that you had that elf. Um,
Elf is Elf was honestly supposed to be a joke. I'm gonna be 100% honest with everybody. It was supposed to be a joke. Um, one of my favorite movies. I've got a top three movies that I have to watch for Christmas, and one of them is Elf. And if you never watched Elf, he's eating pancakes with syrup and candy corn and this, that, and I was like, that'd be a funny scent to make. I wonder if anybody would actually like that. And I'm saying like, oh, we gotta add some bacon in there, just to add bacon. So yeah, it's a maple waffle sugar and bacon scent.
cool, that's awesome. And we have some really cool people coming in. We got Faithfully Bearded. We have Tyson in here.
Oh, hey Tyson.
I think I saw somebody say a reference to Dan. But Tyson, thank you for coming on in. We appreciate it. We appreciate actually everybody. Mr.
Yeah,
Timothy Bearded Strickland has been in here the entire time. I so
oh, thank you,
appreciate it.
Strickland. Well, Strickland,
Yeah.
you said Strickland's been in here since the time one.
Yep, he has.
Well, hey Strickland, shoot me a message when we get off this. Give me on Instagram. Shoot me a message.
Yeah, he said first, and he's been that's really cool. So the cool thing is that Elf was a joke, and I saw. I mean, you have all of the holiday classics.
Yeah,
What was your?
and it's not just the holiday stuff. I mean, for people up there, the biggest thing that I'm trying to, and it's not that I'm trying to get away from it, but I know JLFM says jolly old fat man, and everybody thinks Christmas when they think jolly old fat man.
Right, right.
But I do have scents that are not Christmas, and that's the hardest stigma to try to get past. I mean, I'm not going to change who I am. I'm not going to change the name. I'm always going to be this kind of person. That's who I'm always going to be. But I do have like Tyson. You mentioned Tyson. We've got a cologne scent called the Nice List. I'm sending him just the scent alone because he wants to put it in his diffuser. He liked it that
Nice.
much. So we got Sleigh Ride, which to me Sleigh Ride smells like winter. I mean, yeah, it has pine and stuff like that, but everyone that's ever given that scent to has said it smelled exactly like winter should smell.
Oh, that's awesome. And see, that's a
Yeah,
Christmas season thing. So
yeah,
that's still
and
cool. I mean, that's winter smell is something that is something I identified with that whole season. I love that.
yeah. And then we got Naughty List, which is a woodsy, a really woodsy, strong scent.
Nice.
Um, I just randomly come up with stuff to tell you the truth. I'm sitting there thinking if I like something, I'll put it together. Like I'm working on this one right here,
What is
just
this?
today.
What is
Some
this?
weird stuff some
Evoke
weird
stuff?
stuff I put together. to tell you the truth, it was a pipe tobacco, not a cigar, and not that kind of, but like a pipe tobacco, like a true pipe tobacco scent with some leather, some hot cocoa, and some cranberry in there.
Oh, that's
I mean,
awesome.
who puts that stuff together? Honestly,
You know what? That's the artistry that goes into this. And this is the part that I realize that I am so excited to have people like come onto these because it's the artistry that goes into making the oils and the balms. There's a certain amount of magic that happens with this. And sometimes, I think it was interesting. I've talked to several people that they accidentally did something, Elf, for instance, that just turned into something amazing, and they weren't even planning this. It was just like, hey, I found this fragrance oil or I found this essential oil and I added it with this one, and then it turned into something that was like just absolutely amazing stuff. So that's
yeah,
really cool. I
yeah, and
so
that's
what
kind of how my newest one came up out is Bootstrap is another one I just came out with, but it smells like an oiled up baseball glove.
oh, that's awesome.
It don't have new leather. It smells like an oiled up baseball glove. But it has scents in there that you wouldn't think would give you that scent. It has honeysuckle in there. It has leather. It has a couple other things in there, but altogether, it smells like an oiled up baseball glove.
Oh, I love that. That's so cool. Now, did you know that was going to generate that? at
Not
all, or?
not a clue. I was like, ooh, I like that. My thing is, ooh, I like the way that smells, and I have a thing for smell for scents that stuff will go good together. I've always been kind of that person, so I can mix stuff together. Like I did an oud one that I absolutely love, but the problem is it doesn't last. I used a whole new company trying to find an oud, and it doesn't last nowhere near as long as my other scents. So I just kind of cut it. But I mixed ouds and blackberry together with some eucalyptus and iris.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean it's just random stuff, but it all kind of melded together, and that's kind of nose I have. And if I don't, if I like it, then I'm hoping everybody else does too.
Yeah, I had a discussion with Barbu, and that's what his kind of statement was too, that he just has a sense for it. And Boston Mike is the same way. I don't know if you've ever talked to him, but
Yeah.
they just have, you guys have a sense for these things, and that's what I love about it, because there's this, like, I couldn't do that. I've tried to do, I follow the instructions on the diffuser things that say add this essential oil, and then about 10 minutes later, my wife, because if I try to do the experimental thing, and I've done it, like I was like, hey, how about add some centrella to everything? And my wife's like, stop doing that. I'm trying to sleep.
Yeah,
I thought I went through this phase where I really absolutely loved lemongrass. So then I found Centranola, and I thought, this is like a lighter version of it. So then I just started adding it to my diffuser with everything. And my wife's like, why does it smell like bug spray in here? And I go, that's not what I was looking for. This is supposed to be the calm room where everybody's chilling out. And because I
Yeah,
was
not the
putting
one,
like,
not the room where you're swatting away mosquitoes.
that's right. It was keeping the mosquitoes out. That was good. But I was putting like, I put lavender, and because lavender is always that calming smell. I put a little bit of eucalyptus in because everybody in my family has some sort of breathing issues during this time of year. So I'm throwing that down, and I'm like, let me try this citronella because it's lighter than the lemongrass that everybody was yelling about last time. And no, nobody wanted to do that. I was booed out of the house and stop putting this. What is that horrible smell? And I'm like, it's the diffuser. Get that out of here.
Well, if you like lavender, I do have a lavender and rose that is not available on the site that I did make for myself, and I probably put on site here, but it's literally I love the smell of fresh cut roses, but it's a particular smell. It is not flowers. It is roses. A fresh cut rose smells like from your garden smells like a rose. And I found a fragrance oil that smells almost exactly like it. So
Oh,
I take
wow.
that rose with that lavender, mix them 50-50, and I love it. But the
Oh,
problem
wow.
is I think I've made it too strong. That's why I haven't put it out there yet because I kind of wanted it for that common feeling, which it does give me that common feeling, but it gives you a common feeling for 10 hours.
You know what? I'm a bearded practitioner for a reason because I teach meditation. I'm all about calm. I'm all about calm. With 6 kids, you have to be all about calm.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm surprised you're as calm as you are.
Well, most of them are out of the house now. They're all grown up. So I have the
Okay.
one. The Kayden is the last of the kids.
Okay.
So yeah. So we're kind of, he gets spoiled rotten, but he's 10, and we're really kind of just, we dote on him because he's a good kid. Honestly, he's a really, really super good kid. And we've been just really happy to have been, we're older parents now. When we had kids, we were younger parents, but now we're older parents, and having him around is just such a blessing. And he's one of those kids that he absolutely loves scents for some reason, absolutely loves them.
Hey,
And
nothing wrong with that.
but he'll definitely tell me when things are not smelling right.
So is
And
there been anything that he smelled that he didn't like?
he did. You know
I'm not
what?
putting don't say the company. I was just
No, I'm not.
curious.
I'm not. He has. I don't. Yes, there is, and it actually is a bigger brand.
Oh,
Um,
really?
it is, and he does not like a certain brand's woodsy scent.
Hmm.
They are, and I love woodsy scents.
Okay.
So I think it smells exactly like what it says it is. It smells like ferns. It smells like the Northwest forest. And he's like, he will not use that. It's a shampoo I got from him. and he will not use it because he's just like. But which honestly, as a dad, what you try to do is you try to find a couple scents that your kids won't all use that you like, because then you'll have some for a while.
Yeah. What kind of sense does he like? I mean, I know he loves the cookies and stuff, but has there been
He loves
anything that you said?
cookies. You know what? He's amazingly enough, he really likes. So we just did an unboxing with Barden, and
Adam, great guy.
he is totally a great guy. Amazing. I've been talking to him since I did meditation videos with the bearded shark, and amazing guy. He really kind of likes the sweeter scents.
Okay.
And Adam sent something that it's a Kayden's desert. It has a little bit of sweetness to it, and Kayden just keeps sniffing it. Other than, honestly, when I was putting in some stuff he just sat there and was just like hovering over the bottle and opening it up and closing up the oil that you gave him. He just but he went to me with the Kayden's desert and was like, "This smells so sweet, Dad." I was like, I've been we were trying to figure out what's in it because we smell this sweet and we're not quite sure. We haven't really labeled it. So at some point we're going to try to figure out, because it's the mystery scent from Barden.
Oh, okay.
And he made it custom for Kayden, so it's not on his line. It doesn't have a lineup, but we're trying to figure it out so then we can say, "We figured it out, Adam. We figured out what's in your scent." We haven't been able to do it yet, but he really liked, surprisingly enough, he really liked that coffee praline and maple syrup that Barden. Actually, my
And
entire family. I don't know if you've tried that yet.
no, what's funny is I sent Adam a message when he posted that. I said, "All right, now just because I came out with some maple stuff, you can't start coming out with maple stuff too now." And it's just the banter of back and forth. It's nothing
Absolutely,
bad
absolutely.
about it, but it's funny that I've noticed more and more, and it could be the season. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of my sense they're kind of just playing with, because you can see a lot of the companies are going more that sweetness, the cookies, the maple syrups. I mean, who honestly thought about putting the maple syrup scent in a beard oil?
I don't know. I thought, but it was amazing, and it has bacon.
Yeah, and
Like,
and, and, pro-
you had me at bacon.
and the funny thing is, you'll smell the bacon out of the bottle, but the bacon does fade. I did have a lot of bacon in there, and it was kind of making me sick, so I couldn't. I was like, okay, this is a little much, because too much bacon almost smells like bacon bits, and that smell is just that's not bacon.
Yeah, I hear you. So, yeah. So, we're right at the hour, and I think that everybody else looks like they buggied out.
Oh, good.
But I think we had a really great live stream. Thank you very much for coming on. But
Oh,
what's up? What's going on with you? I always give like the what's going on in the future, what's immediate, what you planning on? Is there a new release you have coming out?
honestly, nothing to tell you the truth. People always asking about butters and stuff like that. I'm the kind of person, if I don't use it, I don't make it. It's just the masses may want it, but it's like anything else. I think it kind of becomes a fad. It'll come and go and stuff like that. It just like Bearded Jester did a thing. My balms will make your beard softer than pretty much most butters. So I don't understand I don't like the butters. I've tried a few of them from different companies. I just don't like the way they feel. But kind of like oils, I'm not a big oil person either. My beard doesn't react. That's why it took me so long. And I'm just going to do a stupid little plug, but that's why it took me so long to do these oils, is because nothing was agreeing with my beard. I couldn't figure out anything that would not make my beard crunchy. I could put an oil in and go like this, and it'd be like crunch. And so, yeah, it don't matter whose oil I was putting in, it was doing that. So I just couldn't do it. So nothing in the works. I always got new scents all the time coming out, just because I'm like, ooh, that sounds good. I mean, I have a drawer full of fragrance oils. When I say a drawer, I probably got 200 fragrance oils just sitting here, and just playing with, oh, this might smell good, this might smell good. And then if it does, I'll just release it out and say, hey, I got a new scent.
Oh, cool. Mr. Timothy Strickland is still here.
Hey, Strickland.
And yeah, awesome.
Well,
But
hey, is he
that's
is he the only one still left on here? Because I couldn't even pull it up on here.
Yeah, no, I think he's still here, maybe a couple others, but I
Well,
did want to
definitely
keep.
him.
I want to be mindful of your time,
I'm
so
I'm off tomorrow, so yeah, I enjoy.
that's cool.
I'm a talker. I'm not gonna lie. I like talking.
Yeah, no problem. So you have that coming out. You just had the release of the eggnog and the bootstrap, which you described the eggnog, and you described the bootstrap being kind of an a baseball leather glove, which is that's a unique smell. I can't even. And that brings you back to those childhood memories. That's awesome. I love things like that that trigger that because most of us kids growing up, we played baseball. That's what we
Yeah.
were doing in the backyard. We were playing football during football season, and baseball throwing the pigskin, or you were throwing the ball around the house with your dad. That's what I
Yeah.
did. I mean, I was
It,
always begging my dad to go play catch.
yeah. I mean, they got. I'll be out there throwing the ball up against the wall.
Oh, ball. Yep.
Yeah. Just to. I mean, just to do it. Sorry. That,
No problem.
I played ball my whole life, so
Yeah, it's totally fun. And so, yeah, I enjoy that. So we have those two, and then anything else coming up that you're thinking? Well, apparently you have this new blend of something that's in the bottle that might
yeah.
be
This
something interesting.
and then that's a scent I did strictly for Sammy Cakes with Bearded Life when she did her thing, and she said what she liked, and I was sitting here today, and I was like, okay, I'll make a scent. Let's see what comes out of it. So I mixed some hot cocoa scent with some leather, with some pipe tobacco and some cranberry, and I think I threw a couple others in there. I was like, oh, that smells really good.
That sounds awesome, man.
So it may, it may come out, it may not. I have a ton of scents over here that I haven't released just because, I didn't think anybody would like them because either I like them or I just kind of like them. But if I release something, it's something I like besides the elf. The elf was just a release to be funny, but my Santas love the elf scent.
And apparently Bearded America and anybody
Yeah.
else who gets it, I hear that anybody who gets it is just absolutely blown away by it.
Yeah. And it's been a trip seeing people actually really, really like that elf scent.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. Yeah, that is so cool. I enjoy the fact that so many of these. I think that it's interesting that what you brought up a few minutes ago about people trying out new scents, and I saw what my first experience with that was with the Holy Grail. So Kingsman Beard Club came out with the Holy Grail, which was the first to do the oud. They're the
Oh, is that why they? Because I haven't gotten under the
yeah.
Holy Grail. I just see everybody loves it, but I just haven't got
You,
around to even getting.
so I am going to tell you that I really, really like Kingsman Beard Club. They're a little bit pricier. Their bombs are really, really good quality, like yourself. They keep your beard soft, but you have to really like. I think they have a couple. I only own cologne scented ones. I own three different of theirs, and they're all cologne scents. And I really enjoy them. One of the big reasons why I got into the beard oils is because I went through. I'm a big cologne guy, and I've branched off, of course, now.
Yeah,
But I first got it because I really liked the smell of the cologne scents, and you could put it in your beard, and it smelled really great. And I was a cologne guy, so perfect for me. So when I got a hold of his stuff, I was just absolutely blown away, just like Beard Justice. He makes a whole line of amazing cologne scents as well. But Kingsman was the first to do the oud, and then what I noticed was that you now have a whole, even Scott did something with a best oud scents recently, and
yeah,
you see that has come out. They had one of my favorite oud scents is Liquid Gold, and that was something that I saw from Dan.
yeah.
And
And I've tried, and like I said, I tapped the one oud, but I just haven't found an oud fragrance. I mean, if anybody says, and I could be completely wrong, but true oud oil and essential oud oil, that straight oud oil, the cheapest I could find was $400 for an ounce.
yeah,
So it's going to be a fragrance. So I don't know what oud is supposed to smell like. So that's my hardest problem with getting an oud is because I don't know if it's supposed to, like I said, I did the blackberry with eucalyptus and oud, and I mixed a bunch of stuff because I kind of wanted that sweet but that earthy tone to it. But it just didn't last. And I don't know if oud is supposed to last. So that's been my biggest issue with the whole oud stuff. I just don't know how. I don't know what it's supposed to
Yeah.
smell like, and I'm not really sure.
Yeah, so Strickland was saying that he has some of Kingsman's too. He has Chainmail and Holy Grail. And Holy Grail is definitely like you have to buy it. So once you get a chance, I would definitely purchase it because it is the original. And I think that everybody branched off of that. Oud, and I showed Dan this video. There's actually a video out there about the oud trade. And it just the essential oil is really, really expensive.
Yeah.
And the bits of bark because of what it is and the process that goes through to make oud, because it's basically a tree fungus that they take out. It's a
And,
certain tree in
and if I
Asia.
remember right, it's only available in one particular part of the world. It's not
In
something you can
Asia,
find everywhere. Yeah. So,
right?
I mean, if people are saying they're putting oud oil into it, and at 400, like I said, the cheapest I found was $400 an ounce. You can't make no money. That's it's a fragrance. So I just haven't found anybody's fragrance that
Well, that's good, and that
lasts.
right, and that's good to know. And that, but it's interesting because then you go to there was oud, and then I noticed that there was a run on like sweet scents for a while, and I
I
just
guess I,
noticed
I
that
guess I guess I missed that train.
yeah, there was a run on sweet scents because I have a ton of fruity scents that came out maybe 3 or 4 months ago. You have things like Dan C's The Teacher, which was, in my opinion, one I stuck with that fruity scent, and I didn't want to go any further. Fable does a great job, and I was like, okay, if Fable did this, I really am not a huge fruity guy. His was good. I have to put it in light, and I was doing it because I like to. I teach a kids class,
Okay.
so I teach like a kids meditation class, and so I like to just like you. You want to have something that smells appealing to kids, and
Hmm.
cologne scents are not going to be appealing to kids. So I
Yeah.
thought that fruity scent would be perfect for them. So I stuck at that because I was like, too much fruitiness is a little bit too much.
Yeah.
But
And my
with
biggest thing
his
is
was
I don't like
good.
stuff that smells like candy. That's my I can't
Yeah,
I can't do it. It's too much for me. My go-to scents are woody scents. I love woodsy scents. I love just
yeah,
the earthy, woodsy stuff. You gotta know. I'm not a big cologne person. Never really worn cologne. Don't I'm not that kind of. So the nice list that is my cologne scent is one that the wife came up with. But the biggest thing with all my scents is I mix all my scents. None of them are straight out of a bottle from a company that is poured into a bomb.
oh,
That mine are mixed from 6 or 7 different companies that I have here, just trying to make what I think should smell good.
that's awesome. And apparently you have a keen sight into that. So that's
Yeah.
yeah. So that's really cool because yes, like I said, I don't do that. I don't have that. So having that is a skill. But it's yeah, I've noticed that the community goes ebbs and flows, and then you'll see them kind of back off. I think there's a big push for right now for like coffee scents. I've noticed that there's a lot of coffee scents being produced
I
right
got
now.
I got one of those too.
But it's
that
but
that's Run Run Rudolph.
oh, is it? So that's
Yeah.
see, I'm gonna have I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna be purchasing some of that very soon.
Yeah, that's a coffee and chocolate.
Oh man, mocha. Oh yeah,
It
yeah, yeah,
smells
yeah.
like it smells like a Cuban coffee almost. If you've ever
Oh,
had a
that's not.
real Cuban coffee,
I
that
have.
kind of that kind of milkiness, but it's still got that espresso bean smell to it. Not so much like a cup of Joe, but like an espresso cup of coffee is kind of
Yeah.
what you get out of it.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. I will tell you that the stuff that I got from Barden, that praline maple,
It
and
sounds so good.
it really is. I have been smelling. I want to get it in beard, but I've been making sure that I keep up with my reviews. I'm just getting done with Rossio's company. So, and once I get done with hers, I'm just getting done there, and then next week I start my actual Barden, and I got enough product for about 2 weeks. So I want to make sure that I get, but that I just have to open it. I opened it this morning just to be like, oh, this is so good smelling. And then I put yours in today because I knew I was doing the live stream, and I was just like, I'm so happy.
Well,
I'm
that's
just in
good.
a happy place. This is cookie. And you just get a little bit of peppermint
Yeah.
throughout the cookie. So you're just like, cookie, and
But
then that peppermint just hits you again.
do you get like a sweet cookie out of it, or do you just get a like a baked cookie? Like,
I get
I
sugar
guess
cookie.
like a lot of people get afraid of my stuff because they think it's going to be so over the top Christmas stuff.
Oh
And
yeah.
to me, my stuff you can wear every day, even if it is a Christmas scent. It's not going to be, you know, candy
Yeah.
canes and sugar and everything. Yeah, it's going to be have those, but it's going to be subtle enough that you could wear it every day.
That's what my take was on this. I wore this to work today, and I work in cubes, so I have to be very mindful of my cube mates, and I only try to wear if I notice that there's a strong scent, I'll tone it down. And this way, in this one, I was using exactly what I normally use. It was a good strong scent all day, which was amazing. I like that. I can still smell it actually, but it's not over the top, and it's not over the top sickly. And that's what I was afraid of. That would be
that
sickly cookie after a while, that you're like, oh, it smells really great the first few minutes. And then it turns into sickly cookie where you're like, I'm tired of smelling cookie. Not at all. This was a perfect blend. And I think the peppermint hints help tone it in a different way to where you just, you don't get that sick cookie, where you're just like, I'm tired of
yeah,
smelling cookies.
and then you don't get the smell of peppermint, which makes you just kind of like smell like candy canes
It's
all
not
day
over the
long.
top. No, it's not. None of it's over the top, and that was what was really good. And then the fact that your beard, I must have stroked my beard a million times today because I was just like, this is so soft. And
And then your hands aren't greasy after you do it.
that's exactly the truth. That's exactly the truth. It was a nice day. It was a
Yeah.
nice day. So
And what's funny is on every one of them, I do what they call a cell phone test. I'll put it in. It'll take about 10 minutes to completely soak into your beard. But after that, I'll get my cell phone and I'll hold it up to my ear. And then I'll look at my cell phone. And if it's all gooey, then I know I failed at something. If it ain't, and it's a good test because that stuff does get on your hands. It does, if you put too much, good thing about mine, even if you put too much, it's still, your beard's still going to want to soak it up.
yeah, and that's what's really good about this product is that I think that this is what is so hard about this industry is there are so many amazingly good companies that are coming out that have gotten the science down. When I first started hearing about companies, they were just putting some stuff together. Just in the last 8 months that I've been involved in this community, you can see that the game has been stepped up, and I noticed that this is one of those products that's a game changer.
I
I'm
appreciate that.
I'm very surprised. I will not be surprised if I don't see more of that product that we were talking about. That is, and even though it's synthetic, it still has an organic base.
Well, and you probably won't see a lot with it because, like I said, it's hard to deal with. So that's why my cost of my bombs is more than the $15.
Yeah,
And if you get the wrong, and the other problem is the BTMS 25 and 50. If you get the wrong batch, it can have a fishy smell to it.
mm,
So you can get BTMS 25 from. I finally found a supplier that I can hide that fishiness from the BTMS, which I'm. You don't smell any of that fishiness out of
not
the
at all.
thing.
Not at all.
I can hide it in the butters and stuff that I use because the scent is so minimal. But some of them you open up the bag and you're like, oh, that's a dead fish in there. I mean, it can really. There's been no explanation on why it has that fishy smell. I've tried to search on it, but nothing has ever told me why it does. So I've formulated enough to where I can hide that smell between the fragrances and the butters. It kind of dilutes that entire smell. And like I said, mine just has if you open up the BTMS, the 2 pound bag of BTMS that I got and smell, yeah, you're going to get some fishiness out of it. But when you mix them all together with everything else, it just took that long to figure out. And the BTMS, it melts at a higher temperature than everything else. So if you go too long, you end up burning everything else. So you have to. like I said, I gotta constantly mix it. I can never let it just sit because you can't throw it in a pot and just let it go because it will not emulsify. It will stay a cloudy white mess on the top of everything else because it hasn't been mixed in. So until you get that mixed in, it'll just sit there. So that's where the higher cost of my stuff comes from.
Yeah, but you pay, it's again, it goes down to you get what you pay for. There are some decent $8 to $10, and I know some companies that do a great job at the
Oh,
$8 to $10 range.
oh yeah.
But I also know that if you want to have consistent premium stuff, you're going to be paying a little bit more, and you're going to get what you like, or get something that you really is good for you, and your beard will thank you for it, honestly. And that's the one thing that I've noticed, that yeah, it's a little bit more. It's a little bit more, but it's so worth it when you reach down and you feel your beard and it's soft, instead of, a lot of times you put in different balms, and especially cheaper ones, you definitely feel a difference. You can feel that crunchiness,
Yeah.
and that's something that, and if you're okay with it, because it has the hold that maybe you wanted.
Mhm.
But I noticed today I just couldn't stop just sitting there all day long, and then you'd go and wouldn't smell anything. You wouldn't get any of the oily stuff on your hands, which was nice because I work on keyboards all day because I'm a IT engineer.
Oh, okay.
So that was perfect for me. I was like, and I
And
love
that, and that and that was the biggest thing is I wanted it. It can't have that greasiness come off. It has to stay in your beard. And I'm the kind of person I overuse products. It's just what I do.
I know.
I scoop in there and go put it in, and then 20 minutes later I'm like, crap, I used too much. With my stuff though, I've never had that issue because it always wants to soak right up into the beard, and I never have that greasy feeling. If I use too much, you kind of get maybe a little bit of a lotiony feel on your hands. But that's if you like completely just,
You're coating it.
yeah, you're just coating it.
Yeah. Well, this is awesome. My wife is wanting me to get off eventually. She wants to see me. It's Friday night. And sometimes she likes to see me. So so I'm going to let you go.
No
So
problem.
we talked a little bit about what's going on. If anybody is in your area, and you're in Georgia, but what
Yeah,
was the
I'm
name of the city you're at?
Lawrenceville, Georgia. I am 20 minutes to 15, 20 minutes northeast of Atlanta off I-85.
Okay, perfect. So anybody who is in this area, go visit
Yeah.
his wonderful display. It sounds like it's absolutely heavenly, and I'm so glad that we had an opportunity to talk today.
Yes,
And
it's been fun. I appreciate it.
oh, you know what? This is the whole piece. I have a blast with anybody that I have interviewing, because I get such a different perspective, and it's so cool to see what people are doing. Especially, I love the unique stories, and you definitely have that, and I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you having me on, and have
Yeah,
a
no,
wonderful night. And if I can do anything for you, just let me know.
will do. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
Talk to you later.
Bye.